don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome. Hello there, and welcome to the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and producer Kate, as always, is at the controls, making sure everything runs smoothly. We want to thank you for your time and for giving it to us. We understand how valuable it is, and we are so honored that you have decided to be here with us. Before we get into the show, I want to take a moment and ask you to click the like button. Doing so apparently will help us out in some way. I guess it moves us ahead in the algorithms, or so they say. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it will then allow you to click the bell so you can be notified when we go live, when we drop static videos or shorts or other content. We are a very interactive show here, as most of you know, and we are interested in what you have to say. So if you are watching live, please comment in the live chat over there. If you are watching via replay, then comment in the comment box below, and we will get back to you at some point. Most importantly, help spread the message by sharing the show with everyone you know. That is the single best way that you can help us out. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, now we are here to the show. To be a leader, you must be willing to be a lifelong learner. Harold G. Moore. Let me tell you, folks, that is what a lot of people, I think a lot of people are missing out on, that very aspect of what it means to be a leadership. So many people I have ran into in the political circle, they tend to think that being a leader, being a political insider, being someone with power, it means being powerful and forthright and, you know, being loud and commanding. And oftentimes it's everything but that. Sometimes it means that. But as my old boss and dear friend Bill Gaddis used to say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You should listen twice as much as you talk. And I feel like a lot of folks do not understand that, and that's where people get in trouble. So yeah, I think that quote really fits kind of where we are. We are, as we sit here, 5 days away from the 2024 primary election. That is the primary election for both Republicans and Democrats. Okay, so Republicans and Democrats will both go to the polls in 5 days. We, of course, are currently in the midst of early voting, and I want to remind everybody that you can go. Tomorrow's Friday, so this week is nearly over, but you can go to the polls tomorrow. And when I mean the polls, I mean your elected clerk's office, or if you live in areas that have vote centers. Some of those places, like Henry County, I believe, has a couple of places open outside of the clerk's office, I believe. Also, it's very important to know that open early voting will occur this Saturday as well. Nearly everywhere, almost everywhere. Okay. So that will happen. And you can go in. Also, it's very important to understand that you can early vote Monday as well. Monday from the opening of the day is 8:30, depending on when your clerk's office opens, until noon. Early voting will end on Monday at noon. And then it is very important to know that on Tuesday will be Election Day, May 7th, 2024, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's very important that you understand, as long as you are in the 50-foot chute, or if there is a line that goes further out past the 50-foot chute at the end of the day, as long as you are in that line by 6 p.m., you can vote. Now, please, for the love of God, unless something is just happening crazy in your life, don't risk being that close to the buzzer. If you think Tuesday's going to be crazy, go vote tomorrow. If you think that Tuesday's going to be crazy, go vote Saturday or go vote Monday. Don't try to play, some kind of buzzer beater with this election. This election is too important to do that with, my friends. You don't want to do that. All right, so for tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of different things that we want to talk. Well, yeah, there clearly will not be there clearly will not be that many people voting. First of all, this is Indiana. Second of all, it's the primary. Third of all, politicians suck. Fourth of all, most of the citizens suck. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's probably not good for politicians to say that, but I'm not a politician, so I can tell you, everybody on both sides of this thing sucks. The politicians are not intelligent in a lot of cases. They're not out doing what they need to be doing. The citizens aren't doing what they need to be doing and staying active and involved and educating themselves on the situation. So everybody on both sides of this thing kind of sucks. I wish it was different. I wish that people were doing different. Okay. So we've got a couple of questions here. Janet has asked a very, very, very good question. Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor Dominic. I think we might be on a few. I've always really, really gotten along with Mayor Dominic. I know that tend to be on a couple on opposite sides of a couple different things, but I definitely respect him and respect his opinion and love to interact with him. But Janet has asked a very important question here. And let's see here. Janet has said, where can we find a list of voting centers in Delaware County? Can constituents vote at any voting center? No. So voting centers have not went through in Delaware County. Hey, Don Morris. No, Don Morris does not suck. Don Morris knows his candidates. He follows. And he is one person that no one listening to this show, you guys are all intelligent. I wasn't referring to you. I'm not referring to you all. You guys are here, so you're definitely all intelligent. So you're doing your part. And hello there, Don. I hope you're doing well. I want everybody to keep Don in mind. He's obviously still out fighting the fight. He has a missing daughter that's been missing for very, very long time, and everyone needs to keep that in your mind. Remember Ashley Morris Mullis, and if you think of something, you know something, see something, say something, everything matters, even if you feel like it's minute and does not matter. If you have information in your mind, or you know something, or you know someone that knows something, do not delay. Contact law enforcement right now. Matter of fact, turn the show off and contact law enforcement like that. That's that. Yeah, Charlie, you're all here and welcome to talk. Thank you for caring and sharing. Always, Don, always. Now, I do want to get back to Janet's question. Delaware County does not have voting centers. We've tried to push this through a couple times, and I don't agree with the Delaware County clerk on a lot of things. We have been at odds on a lot of different things throughout the years, throughout just really the last 2 years. But one thing that I do agree with him on is the vote centers. I don't mean that just all vote centers, the way that he was dealing with it, the way that they were dealing with, is the end all be all. There's some discussion that's needed, and placement needs to be worked on. But Delaware County would be in a better position if we had vote centers. I wish that we had vote centers. It's something that just both sides at various times have been against the vote centers for various reasons. And I truly hope that it is something that we can approach sometime in the future and we can delve into, because it is very, very important. So we do not have vote centers. That means you must vote at your precinct area. You must go and vote. You cannot go and vote just all over the county. For the people that want to know where the voting sites are, I'm going to show you in Delaware County. Now, I know we have people here watching from Madison and from Henry County and from Randolph County. This is just for Delaware County, so this only pertains to Delaware County. I know we have people from Louisiana and Colorado and Germany, so obviously this won't affect you guys either. This is only Delaware County. Your vote centers can be found at DelawareCountyElectionDay.com. DelawareCountyElectionDay.com. You can find this here. But your polling sites are, we have, I don't believe we have 98. Well, let's just find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, because so you see 4 and you see 5 is gone. So I think we have 70 some, but as you see here, your precincts are here, and you can find these at DelawareCountyElectionDay.com. You can go there and you can find. If you do not know what your precinct is, if you do not know what your precinct is, you can go to www.indianavoters.com. It's the same place that you would go to register. You can type in your name, your driver's license number, or your state ID number, and it will tell you what your precinct is. You can go straight there. You can verify all of that. I know where my polling site is since I vote in every election. Yeah, so can I go vote early at that same location? Okay, no. Janet, that's a good question. You cannot vote early there. The only place you can vote, like, for example, so it's Thursday evening. That means your chances to vote early are tomorrow, Saturday, and Monday. If you don't want to vote on Election Day Tuesday, you will need to vote tomorrow, Saturday, or Monday. And your only three options on voting early would be tomorrow at the Delaware County building, the old Delaware County building at 100 West Main Street. You will need your driver's license, and you'll go in there. It's on the first floor. You can vote there on Saturday, and you can vote there on Monday in Delaware County. Those are your only three chances and places to vote early. And then if you're going to vote on Election Day, then you go here and you find your places to vote there, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's important for folks to know. And I do want to put this out there. I know a lot of people have been talking about different things and talking about, well, you know, there's people that are talking about switching. There's Democrats that are going to vote Republican or vote Republican that's going to vote Democrat. I want to be really clear, okay? There are people out there that are telling people, and it's happening in Madison County a lot right now, they're saying you can't pull a Republican ballot if you're a Democrat. Okay. There's no such thing for the normal citizen about being, in the state of Indiana's eyes, quote unquote, a Republican or a Democrat. When you register, you don't register in Indiana under a party. You don't register as a Republican. You don't register as a Democrat. Indiana has open primaries. So when you walk in as just a normal human citizen, you will walk up to the clerks, the poll worker clerks, and you will say, "Hi, I'm here to vote." And they will say, "Okay." And you will say, "I want a Republican ballot or I want a Democrat ballot." And as a normal human citizen, you can pick whichever ballot you want. Now, I caution you, if you're planning on running for an office or you have aspirations to run for an office in the future, now next year we have an off year, so there are no elections next year. If you choose to run for an office in 2 years or in 3 years, you will absolutely need to consider what ballot you're going to poll, because you will have to have those votes to be in line with what you'll want to run in the future. So if you're going to run in 2 years as a Republican, then you are most definitely going to want to vote Republican this year. If you are going to run as a Democrat in 2 years, you will want to vote Democrat this year. Or Or you could vote in the opposite party as long as you are going to talk with the chair of the other party to talk about signing you off in 2 years. But just remember, that is not always that easy. They don't like to sign off on things as trying to find out what that is. Trying to determine if we have like a mouse chewing on something. Or if what I'm doing there. That's weird. Well, anyways, until it's not a spider. If a spider's making that noise, I'm in trouble. That's weird. There's a little sound over here, and I don't know really what the hell it is. All right, so that's that. So you just be cognizant of that. If you're just a regular human citizen that's not going to be worrying about running, then you can go in and you can pull a ballot for whatever you want. And I want to tell you all, if you get to a voting center and there's a problem, I've been saying this before, but I'm going to say it again. If you get to if you get to your polling place and you choose that you're going to vote or whatever, and you go in and there's a problem there, if there's some kind of a problem, don't just walk away. At the very least, vote a provisional ballot and get it sorted later. Okay? That's important. Stand by. I got to fix this or it's going to kill me. I got to find out what the hell this is. Be right back. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm going to answer Ryan because he's asking about libertarians.
Yeah.
So,
he asked that question.
Libertarians, you can pull whatever ballot you want to. We don't care. We don't get a primary here in the state of Indiana. So the two-party crap doesn't apply to us. Or two-primary thing doesn't apply to us. The way our candidates get on the ballot is that the party has a county convention for local offices, and the party members vote whether they would like to see you on the ballot or not. So it doesn't matter what you pull. So if you have a candidate that you really want to see elected, you can pull their ballot and vote for them in the primary, or you can sit it out. It's up to you. But your voting in the primary is not going to affect you for running for office as a libertarian. Did you find the spider?
No, I don't know what the hell it is.
Okay.
But the noise is no longer making, so I think it might have been a little mousy, which I'll tell you, a mouse is not a problem. A spider's a problem, a mouse is not. So that's just a little bit of a... I still would love to find that episode where, folks, I know some of you've heard this before, but on the old program long ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was sitting here doing a show just like we are now. I think at the time my microphone came down from here, and we're doing a show, and all of a sudden the show needed to end because we had a spider attack. And it was insane. It was like, spider, and the show ended because of it. So it is a classic. The people who got to watch it loved it. It's out there. It is out there on Facebook. If for anyone that wants to go through the years and years of the Perception is Realities, the Bilbrey Lives, the Live at 8:35, all of that, the Bastards of Politics, all of the different, iterations of the program. And I'll tell you, I can put it into a time frame for you. It was, I'm willing to say it was 2021. It happened after here's what I can tell you for a surefire fact. It happened sometime between 2019 and 2021. So happy hunting. Okay. So the show tonight, folks, those are all good questions. I'm glad we had this little discussion. It's very important. And yes, Janet is right. If you go to a polling site, I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're in Colorado, if you're in the United States of America, and you go in to vote and you have a problem, call me. You give me a call me on the phone, and I will absolutely 1000% help you through that right here. Call or text 765-546-9796. 765-546-9796. And we together will figure out what the hell the problem is. I'll do what I can, because I am not okay with them turning people away to vote. I don't care if you're going there to vote against the people I'm pushing for. I don't care. I'll be honest. Mike Jones could call me on that day and say, hey, they're not letting me vote. And I would help him figure out a way to see what the problem was, because I'm not okay with them turning people away. They must help people with that. And they don't in a lot of cases. And that is it. So yeah, keep that number out there, folks, and do what you can. Yeah, no problem. There's definitely no problem with that. So, all right, the show tonight. I know for the last couple of episodes, it feels like we're just going over a dead horse, beating a dead horse, but I guess, we're going to be talking more about the same because we have a new batch of public records that was sent to me today. And I want to go through these with you. They're very interesting. They're very telling. I will also tell you, as it relates to the current ongoing Greenlight Resources / Dustin Clark fiasco, as it relates to all of that, I have heard tale that there is a Muncie City Council executive meeting in place for tomorrow. Now, I have not found this posted anywhere. I have no understanding of where the city may or may not have shared this. I need to take a trip up to City Hall. I might actually take a spin up there when we get off the live, and then I can always comment back in the comment section if people are interested. But they might have it posted up at City Hall that there's an executive meeting. I'll put it to you like this. If there's an executive meeting tomorrow, it better be posted up there. Okay? If there... I just figured out what the noise was. That makes me... Finally, finally the show can start. So I have a little fan that runs below here, and it kind of cools the area down, and it had moved a little bit closer to something, and it was rocking something back and forth. And that's what the noise was. All right. Problem solved. All right. It's kind of like when you're by yourself and you freak yourself out. You're like, I know someone's in the house with me, but it ends up being the wind from the window you have open or whatever, and it's blowing the door, creaking it or whatever. I was my own mouse. There's a monster at the end of this podcast. Okay. So I want to be very clear and tell you that yes, that is a textable number. You can text and call that number. You can text and call that number. That is very important. Oh, look. Yeah, we do. We just had some James King smells like a funeral home. You know what a funeral home smells like, right? It smells like a funeral home. That's weird. Wow. Two mailers? 2 King mailers? Oh, I see what's going on. We'll get to that in a moment. Anyways, so there is apparently a Muncie City Council meeting this coming Friday. It is an executive meeting, which means no public, no press, and the meeting is there for Dan Ridenour to tell the council what's going on with this Dustin Clark crap. Now, I wish that he would be as open and forthcoming with the citizens as he could. Now, listen, I understand with HR issues and with personnel issues that you have to be careful there. They can't always just tell everybody everything that's going on. However, it would be helpful if he would come clean and tell everybody, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, this is what we're trying to do, because he's not the only person dealing with this. The Visitors Bureau is dealing with this. Matter of fact, the Visitors Bureau has terminated 2 people. They've terminated 2 people. They've brought in a new person, and they have been up front and open and honest with everything. Matter of fact, they've been right on it in getting us the records, and we're going to go through those records here in just a second. But, there's no reason that the mayor can't do the same thing. He most certainly can. All he has to do is tell the public through a press release, hey, this is what we're dealing with. We are in the process of trying to investigate this matter and handle it appropriately. And we want to make sure that if there is any wrongdoing, that we deal with that. And we want to run the investigation to its logical conclusion and deal with whatever fallout may come. But he has, as Mayor Dominic here is saying, he has never been transparent. Listen, folks. In 2018 and 2019, you would have found no bigger Ridenour supporter than myself. I have a post that I have shared. It comes up in the memories all the time. That sometime in the first 11 months of Ridenour's first term as a city councilor, I made a comment that he would make, and it was my belief that he would make a good mayor sometime. Now, little did I know at the time at just how completely daft this man is. Just completely off his rocker. But I pulled for him and he won and everything was good. And 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 8 days, 9 days after he won the election, I thought, all right, this is going to be good. He was calling me and bringing me in on things. And it's not just because he was bringing me in. It's because it appeared as though he was trying to take steps to be transparent. He was trying to be open. He was having all of these things out in the open and out in the honest. And it was when he dealt with the situation with John Hampton on the council the way that he did, it was that issue that I was like, wait a minute. And then all of the way he dealt with the fallout from that, I was like, this is concerning. And I called him out. And the way that they dealt with that was horrible. And basically from that point forward, he's been terrible. He's reactionary and he doesn't deal with anything appropriately. Then he gets mad when people start trying to piece the puzzle together themselves. And he doesn't realize that if he would just come forward in the early stages, that there's a lot that he could kind of stave off if he would just do the right thing, but he doesn't, and we wind up here. So I don't know when this council meeting will be. I will take a trip up to City Hall when we get done with this live, and I will look and see what goes on, and we will talk about that. So I will do what I can to make sure. I mean, I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to go into this. They're going to go into this meeting, and he's going to say, "Now, I don't want Bilbrey hearing any of this, and you are blah 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 blah." Okay, but I'm going to do what I can to make sure that my network of secret squirrels are around, and if I can hear what I can hear, I will bring forward to you whatever I can. That being said, we do have a Muncie City Council meeting that will be taking place on Monday. That's Monday, the 6th of May. That's just in 4 days. And I'm going to be attending that meeting. I'm going to be making some statements during the public concerns administration that I'm sure they're not going to like. Of course, we've talked about them here. They need to get.
You broke up, Kristopher.
Sorry, did I break up there?
Yes.
Yeah. Hold on.
What are you going to make comments about?
Yeah, I got the ball of death rotating here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry, I had the Mac ball of death going here, and I could tell that I was locked out. I'm going to go to the city council meeting, and I'm going to make the comments to the council and to the administration about what we've been talking here, about them needing to make sure that the council members are doing better about publishing when these committee meetings are. That we've had 2 committee meetings in the last as many weeks, and no one has published them. I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to ask that they they do whatever they can to try and work with the administration to have the administration publish that. They have a perfectly good Facebook page that during the mayor's campaign last year, they used for all kinds of crap. But now that the mayor's won, it's like they've really pulled back from commenting anything on there. And it's it's really disgusting that they've done that. So they need to utilize that. And besides that, these council members, there's no reason why they all don't have their own Facebook page and why they're not publishing this information out for people. It's nuts to me that we are in 2024 and we have people that want to be, I mean, it's common sense. Yeah, I'm so sick of hearing elected officials saying, well, I'm not into that technology stuff. Well, look, folks, I'm not a technological wizard, but if I say, I don't like that social media stuff or whatever, and I'm gonna do my show and I'm not gonna put it out anywhere, I can't blame anybody for not listening. Okay. You've got to be willing to try to work forward. Someone has commented to me here recently and said, hey, have you ever considered putting out all of the public records that you get? Have you ever considered putting those things out on let me tell you what this guy said. All right. And I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow and see what we can do. Maybe talk about trying to bring him into the team and put him see what he can do, because I think this would be great. I haven't talked to Brandon or Kate about this, just because honestly, he just messaged yesterday, but I liked what he had to say. Let me try to find where this is here, because I want to explain this to you and see what you all think about this as well. This goes right along with what we're talking about. He's right here. He said yesterday, have you ever considered putting the records out that you get from all of these different entities and whatnot? Have you ever considered putting them out someplace after you talk about them so others can pore over them as well? And then he goes on to say a small wiki or a Discord chat, maybe even a doc sharing platform, something like that. He said it would be interesting to get more eyes on this stuff without everyone having to individually ask the city, county, and everywhere else for these same documents over and over and over. And I absolutely agree. And I told him, I said, yeah, that's a great question. I said, anytime I get record requests, I do my very best to post them on my Facebook page, similar to how I did with the Delaware County candidates campaign page, where I just post them all out there. I said, obviously, I go through them on the show and on the program, and so people can see them there, and they can see them on Facebook. But look, I know not everybody's on Facebook and whatever, and so but that would be something I would love to do. I said, the thing is, I don't know what in the hell that is. I don't know what a small wiki is or what a Discord chat is, but I would love to start something like that up. Have like the political spotlight document section, political records. And then we could just title them on there. We could have the city of Muncie. We could have Delaware County, city of Anderson, state of Indiana, Ohio, or wherever we interact with whatever we do. We could have a little section on there. And then, we could put that stuff on there. That would be great. And he said that he could help. He would send a few options. And, I think that would be, that would be good. And he said, we could brand it with our stuff. It would be a benefit to us, but setting it up for a platform that allows Facebook links would be the benefit to the larger community. I also think for you exposing the crap with Dan, listen to this. This guy goes on saying, I'm not going to out him, but he says also, just FYI, thank you for exposing this crap with Dan. I feel like I'm crazy sometimes thinking that he's actually worse than Tyler. No, you're not. You're not. He is. It is. And I'll tell you why. Let me be very clear. If you put Dennis Tyler and anything and everything that he did, right or wrong, right here, and you take Dan Ridenour and you have him do everything exactly the same that Dennis did, and you put them on the pedestal and they've done the exact same things, and you say, now, who's the worst person here? Most people would say, well, they're equal. They've done the same bad things. And I would say, no. Dan, to me, is worse. Because when Dennis ran, he was just a politician running and he was just doing his thing. Dan ran as the knight in shining armor, the white horse, the man that was coming in to correct it all. All right? Dan, if Dan is involved with these things, that's problematic to me. So it is what it is. It's very interesting how this will all be looked at. Dan has done some good things. There's been some good things, but look, Dennis did some good things too. And I can't help but remember all of those times that Dan talked about improving communication, improving accountability, and improving transparency, and all of that. My question is, where's all that went? Why doesn't he talk about that stuff anymore? Why doesn't he do all that stuff anymore? You know what I mean? Why, as the mayor of Muncie, I know that when you're the mayor, you're the administration, you're not the city council. But would you not think, hey, I'm the mayor of Muncie. We have a Muncie city council who's going to be voting on things that I push forward. It might be a benefit to let the public know what's going on and to let them know that there's an upcoming meeting. Hey, communications person, why don't you publish the agenda for the meeting and let everybody know that there is a meeting coming up in a week? Doesn't that seem like common sense? Doesn't that seem like something that he should do? He shouldn't be asked to do it. He should just do it. This administration used the FBI to take the place of the Tyler administration, and then does the same stuff. Yeah, it's, that's the thing. And that's also, it's like ludicrous. Like, come up with a better scam, come up with a different grift, like to do the exact same damn thing. That's wild.
Well, Niles made an interesting point. He said, you're making the assumption that they want people to be at the meetings.
Well, yeah.
That they would want people to be at the meetings.
Sure. That's the thing. That's the thing. But again, well, sure, he clearly doesn't. But then you've got to say, okay, well, everything that you ran on in 2019 then was just absolute bull crap. And, you just have to come off of it now and say that. That's the thing. So it's things like that. But all right. Stupid Bilbrey, absolutely. Let's remove it, Dan. Why? You mean to tell me there are 9 council members and there are none of the 9 council members that feel confident that in the fact that they should be talking to their citizens, and they don't feel like, hey, I won, and I have a promise to these people and a job to do, a duty. I'm going to let them know what's going on. I want to be open and honest and communicate, and I want these people here. You mean none of these people in the council do? Now, I'll tell you, I noticed after the last little bit, Nora Powell did post the agenda to this upcoming council meeting to her Facebook page. So, are people listening? But she's just one. She's just one. She's one of 9, so I'd like to see the others do it too. Real quick, here is the agenda for this coming meeting on Monday. Monday the 6th, public hearing at 6:45. It's for to hear Resolution 4-24, a resolution of the City of Muncie confirming designation of an economic revitalization area, approving the deduction from assessed value of new real property improvements. All right. We're going to talk about that. Then the regular meeting will start at 7 p.m. They'll go through the regular housekeeping issues. They'll then come down here to ordinances previously introduced, 5-24, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Muncie, Indiana, approving a pilot agreement in connection with the development and construction of the Village Tapestry Hotel project in the city and authorizing other matters in connection with therewith. Then they will go on to new ordinances where they will talk about Ordinance 9-24, an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending Chapter 35 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances regarding bargaining with the local 1348 International Association of Firefighters and bargaining with the Greg Winters Memorial Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 87. Note, there's nothing about AFSCME on there. Nothing about AFSCME. Where are the AFSCME people? Where is the agreement for the where is the agreement to start dealing with this? What are they doing? Okay. Now, I will tell you what Dan is trying to do to AFSCME right now is beyond disgusting. I don't know. All right, moving on. Ordinance 10-24, an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending Chapter 37 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances regarding collective bargaining. Okay. Gonna have to go in there and see what exactly that is. Resolution 4-24. Of course, we read that up there in the other one. That's about the revitalization area. Then, of course, there is the tabled ordinances 3-24, appropriation ordinance of the City of Muncie, introduced into the Public Works Committee. Okay. This is the thing I'm going to be griping about because this wasn't live streamed and nobody knew anything about it. And then ordinance 6-24 was the thing that was sent to the Environmental Impact Committee. That was what was live streamed from last night, but we didn't know anything about it. I hope you went back and watched that meeting. Okay, that's going to be big. Then it will go into other business, which there will be the public concerns, and we will talk about that. All right, now, real quick, to find out what this 10-24 is, let me go to the packets here. Find out where they are. Forms, minutes, agendas, policies, manuals, ordinances, notices, unofficial, unapproved. Okay, here we are. Let me go down here and get what this ordinance 10-24. Let's find out what this ordinance is. Okay. Is that on the screen for you all to see? Yeah, let me get that over here. Chapter 37, negotiating with public employees is an important function of the City of Muncie. And whereas Chapter 37 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances governs collective bargaining for all municipal employees of the City of Muncie, except confidential, supervisory, and exempt employees, and those employees currently covered by the separate ordinances and or agreement public safety employees. And Whereas Chapter 37 sets forth a negotiation procedure for the city and recognized labor organization representing the above referenced municipal employees, the American Federation of State. Okay, here's AFSCME, but does not define the manner in which the city bargaining team is selected. Whereas the Common Council wishes to be actively involved in negotiating with the municipal employees of the city. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Muncie as follows. Section 3711, the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances is hereby added to read as follows. The bargaining team. Okay, this is going to be interesting. The mayor shall have the responsibility for the overall coordination of the bargaining team for all matters, including compensation and such other matters as may be within the authority of the city. The mayor shall appoint the members of the city's bargaining team, at least one of whom must be the chairman of the finance committee of the Common Council, and at least one of whom must be a member of the Common Council who is of a different political affiliation than the mayor. The mayor will designate a chief spokesman. The ordinance shall be in full force and effect from after its passage by the Common Council and its approval by the mayor of Muncie, Indiana, and such publications as may be required by law. All right, so this is going to be interesting because what this is going to do, my question here is, and this is something that Nora Powell has put forward, obviously, and Nora Powell is the chairman of the finance committee. My question is, as a Democrat, does she fit both of those boxes? Will there only need to be one council member since she is a Democrat and the finance chair? Or will there be able to be her and one more count? Like, what's going to happen? That's going to be interesting.
And here's my other question.
Yeah.
The mayor will designate a chief spokesman.
Yeah.
So does that mean that this chief spokesman, he appoints himself, he goes in and he does the bargaining and the rest of the committee doesn't have to be there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be really, I'm going to have to find out just exactly what this is because Nora's putting this forward, obviously. She put this forward. So we'll have to find out what this is. And also, why is this only for AFSCME? Why did they not do this for the police and fire? And will this be coming with police? This is just very interesting. This is very interesting here on what they're doing here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. They are just wanting to ensure that a bunch of people aren't talking about. Yeah. Yeah, that right. I also though don't like the fact that I don't like the fact that this is how Nora gains her power, being in control of these meetings. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. And this is where she will start really butting heads with the mayor. What do you mean timing issues? What do you mean it's already in effect for police and fire? I was pretty sure that they voted that down. That there's not a city council person on the bargaining team. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. That's weird. So, well, I'll look into this. I'll be talking to people. We'll have to hear what's going to come up and what's going to be said. City council has to be present. Oh, but they didn't make them present. They weren't present last time, though. And then Troy Ingram tried to put something forward, and everybody lost their mind, and they didn't want them to do that. I specifically remember that meeting because last year that didn't happen. It's very strange. Very strange. We'll have to see what goes on here. Yeah, that's very, very, very strange. Council must be kept informed, though, right? But they didn't do that. See, we keep talking about things that they must do, but then they did not do that. And the reason they didn't do it is because Dan was running for re-election to mayor against the person who would have been involved with that. And he did not want Jeff at those meetings. So he did not do that. Right, was a breach. They wanted someone that was from a different party is what they was up in arms about. Right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I will get to the bottom of all of that, and we'll fight this out at the council meeting. This next council meeting is going to be interesting. And just so FYI, Monday's show will probably be late. Just FYI. Okay, now onward from there. Now let's talk about these records that I received from the Visitors Bureau. Okay, so you all remember on Monday or Tuesday, Monday it was, that I received the first band of records from the Visitors Bureau. And what those records were the minutes for the Visitors Bureau meetings and the handbook, the bylaws, all right? And at the very end of all of this, I didn't go through those with you. I will put those up and let you see those because they really didn't mean anything for you guys for where we were going with the show the other day. We still haven't looked at those. I am going to put these forward because they are very interesting and they add another bizarre layer to all of this, okay? So I'm going to put this forward here and let you guys see this. So, first, hold on, let me pull this down because I need to answer this. Annie says council must find out why the administration is trying to break this union. Yeah, that's very important. Not only must they find out why, I think the council must stop. They must work to stop it. They must work to stop it and put Dan back in his place. Okay. All right. Here is the start of the second round of documents received from the Visitors Bureau. And so what you're going to see here, this is the Visit Muncie, which is the name of it, transactions with Greenlight LLC. All right. So these are all of the transactions that the Visitors Bureau of Muncie had with Greenlight Resources. Date, December 18th, 2023. Check number 1245 issued from the Visitors Bureau to Greenlight Resources for Eclipse sponsorship. Cleared checking account on December 21st, 2024. And that was in the amount of $10,000. Okay. Then on December 20th, 2023, check number 1259 issued from the Visitors Bureau to Greenlight LLC for a payment of the 2023, well, I guess it would be the 2024 Eclipse merchandise sold via Visit Muncie website and paid through Square cleared checking account on January 12th, 2024. So that was $87. February 13th, 2024, deposit of a check made payable to Visit Muncie from the Ziegler Foundation grant for the Muncie Eclipse Committee. It was $2,000. February 23rd, 2024, check 1298 issued from Visit Muncie to Greenlight Resources for Muncie Eclipse grant from Ziegler Foundation. Cleared checking account on 2/23/24. Now it was for another $2,000. Deposit of 2 checks made payable to Visit Muncie for Muncie Eclipse grant, $500 from Family Vision Care and $10,000 from George and Francis Ball Foundation. Check 1314 issued for Muncie Visitors Bureau to Greenlight Resources. Okay. See here how this goes into each other. So that was on 3/5. And then it bleeds over into this. Check number 1314 issued Muncie Visit Muncie to Greenlight LLC for Muncie Eclipse grant from Family Vision Care. So obviously that's not, I mean, I want to know.
They're showing they've set up this grant and they've got donors that are paying into the grant.
Okay.
So they're showing the donations that came into the grant. So where the money came from.
Yeah.
And then they're showing it going out as payment on the grant was given to Greenlight. So they pay that money that came in to Greenlight.
Okay.
So they're just showing you where it came from, which is nice.
Yeah. I get it.
This involves the George and Francis Ball Foundation.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, right. April 5th, 2024, check number 1336 issued from Visit Muncie to Greenlight to reimburse Muncie Eclipse merchandise sold at Visit Muncie retail shop, paid through Square, cleared checking account 4924. And that was for $2,935.02. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Okay. So here is just the banking account, like the accounting of everything that went on through here. Okay. And so basically what they've done here is they went down through this, and from here they made this document. Okay. Where it gets interesting is here. Check needed, Greenlight, payee, Greenlight vendor name, subcode, amount $5,000, description, funding, support for April 8th, 2024 eclipse. 10,000 balance due, approved by board, it says. Okay. Now here is interesting. Here's another one of these things, $10,000. Okay. 10,000 balance due, approved by board. So it says that here. All right. Here we get down to some interesting checks. All right. This is what's of interest to me. I don't know who this signature is right here, this top signature. But this signature down here on the bottom is Kevin Kirby. That's the board. That was the director of the Visitors Bureau. All right. That's Kevin Kirby. When you get to the back side of the check, which is where it's endorsed. Okay. Here's the Visitors Bureau. This is where they sign it. Greenlight Resources then is responsible for signing this side. The problem is when you look at that name, it's going to be hard, and you guys might not know who that is. But the person who signed this check for $2,000 to Greenlight Resources, see, it's paid to the order of Greenlight Resources, $2,000, was Trenton Bush. Well, why does that matter? Well, because Trenton Bush was the marketing director for the Visitors Bureau. So this right here is proof that not only is he the marketing director for the Visitors Bureau, but he's also an employee of Greenlight Resources, which is like a major conflict of interest, in my opinion, and probably a reason why Trenton Bush was let go from his position in the Visitors Bureau last week. All right, we come down here to the next check. This is a check for $2,000. All right, this check up here was check 1298. Oh, this is also check 1298. Okay, I don't know why they gave me two copies of this check. But this is the same check. Okay. Now, here's the next check. Here is a check to Greenlight for $10,500. Kevin Kirby. And ladies and gentlemen, we see Mr. Trenton Bush signed the check again. So he signed a check for $2,000. Now he signed a check for Greenlight in the amount of $10,500. All right. So there's that check again. And here's this. And then this last check, check sent by Kirby, $2,935. Check for Eclipse merchandise sold at Muncie store. Spreadsheet from Square for receipt. And that's the end of the records. That's all that we got. So we don't know who signed off on this. But we do have two checks. One check for $10,500 that was paid from Visitors Bureau to Greenlight, signed off by Trenton Bush, and then a check for $2,000, and the same thing happens. And that's very crazy to me. I don't understand why that would be happening. Yes, you're right, Annie. There is no second.
Well, did you calculate the total for all of those amounts?
No, what was it?
$40,522.02.
That's what I heard. That would make sense. That's about what I heard from. That's what I heard.
And this is just from the end of December through the eclipse.
Yeah.
In 4 months.
In 4 months. And this is just the Visitors Bureau.
Holy fucking.
This is not the city of Muncie. Because keep in mind, I am aware without the records from the city of Muncie. I don't have the records from the city of Muncie. And as I sit here, am aware of $17,500 that the city of Muncie has paid him. So, and to be honest, I know that there is way more than that. I just need to get the records from the city. Now, that shows what's going on. So right now, so Annie says now these names are only associated with the Visitors Bureau. No. Trenton Bush is also now associated with Greenlight because he's signing the back of the check. Yeah, Alva. So if you total up my amount from the city and that amount from the Visitors Bureau, now you're at 58,000. Absolutely, sir. So with Greenlight, here's who I can know without a shadow of a doubt is connected to Greenlight in one form or another, and I'll tell you why and how. Greenlight Resources. Dustin Clark is connected to Greenlight Sources because, number one, when you look Greenlight Sources up at the Indiana Secretary of State's office, it comes back to a property at 2432 South Hoyt. Dustin Clark is currently trying to kick individuals out of the house at 2432 South Hoyt. Dustin Clark is attached to that property somehow. Don't know how, but he is. Okay. He is also attached to Morgan Warden, who is listed as the registered agent of Greenlight Resources. Michelle Owen is dating Dustin Clark or is in some kind of business operation or business partnership with him. So they're either in a business relationship, a romantic relationship, or both. And she is also connected to Morgan Warden. Okay, they own that house together. I also have this. Let me put this up so you guys can see this. I have not shown you this. This is important. It's going to be hard to see because I didn't take this picture. Someone took this picture from a computer and sent it to me. And you know, those pictures are always funky. This, ladies and gentlemen, is pictures of notes of minutes from a meeting from the Muncie City Beach Grove Board. Right here it says new business. Kyle Johnson was not able to attend the meeting and give his report on a cemetery management database and solutions for preserving historic maps. Kyle Johnson works with GIS. Johnson has photographed the maps. He also provided a written proposal and budget for a database development. Zach Bowe reported on a fundraising subcommittee meeting with Dustin Clark and Delaney Fritsch on January 23rd. It was reported at that meeting that specific grants and other funds, including Ball Brothers Foundation, keep that in mind, rapid grants and community development funds may be available. Dustin Clark and Delaney Fritsch can be hired as consultants for specific grant proposal. They would charge a fee based on the award amount. Discussions at the board meeting centered on funds needed to paint the iron fence, B&B painting, provided a quote of $52,000 to paint the fence, Troy Waters, da-da-da-da-da. So here we have Dustin Clark and Delaney Fritsch. Well, who's Delaney Fritsch? Delaney Fritsch is the woman that if we go to LinkedIn and we look Delaney Fritsch up on LinkedIn, she lists her jobs as one of them being a consultant for Greenlight Resources. So again, it's just very intermixed, very intertwined, and very, very strange. Yeah, right here. If you go here and you look at this, get rid of this. Here, ladies and gentlemen, now you see Delaney Fritsch, experience, Eli Lilly and Company, Greenlight Resources, LLC. Let's see if it lists everywhere. Delaney Fritsch, Project Muncie, Indiana, contact info, 39 connections. Dan Ridenhour's a mutual connection. Let's see here. I'm happy to share that today marks the completion of my second week as a contracted project specialist at Eli Lilly and Company. Through this new position, I have been lucky enough to join the product donation special impact team. I'm also excited about this role. Yada, yada, yada. Let's see here. She posted a picture of last Friday. The Land Bank presented to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission regarding the redevelopment and revitalization project for the Old West End neighborhood. We are excited for these next steps. She shared that for whatever reason. And here we go. Here we go. She worked for the city of Muncie. She was a special projects manager, working in community development. And she also has listed that she's a Greenlight Resources LLC contract. And she said that she worked there from December of 2023 through April of 2024. Isn't that interesting? It all surrounds around that. All right. So that's really funky. So those are the records. From what I'm hearing from the Visitors Bureau, I should be expecting one more batch of records, but those could be a while. I might not get those for a while now. So as far as what happens now, number one, we have to get the records from the city. The city has to give us records. We have to go through those and present those to you guys. Number two, we've got to get the city to tell us what the hell's going on and find out if anyone's going to be arrested, if anybody's going to be fired, if any more people are going to be laid off or are going to be put on administrative leave or otherwise removed. And I am telling you, I am still trying earth to anybody out there. And look, maybe they don't want to talk to me. Listen, somebody reached out to me today and said, hey, have you reached out to Nick Papa Doppel Ding Dong? And I'm like, no, that guy does not want to talk to me, I'm sure. Listen, some of these people I have been enemies with because they're idiots. And I say that meaning this. They're idiots because in the past, I've called out politicians and they've been on the sides of those politicians. So they haven't liked me because I'm just doing what I do. Now they are also on the opposite side of what's going on. And I'm like, listen, I was never against you for being you. I was against the politician that you were connected to. Let's put bygones aside and let's work on this together. But I haven't heard from Micah, not heard from Nick. And look, I don't need them, I guess. I don't need them. But it sure wouldn't hurt anything. It could help, but the answer's on them. If they want to totally get out from underneath this insanity and come clean on what's going on or what they think is going on, or bring forward any other evidence or documentation they have, the door and the floor is yours. The door is always open. Call me, text me, email me, carrier pigeon me. Let's roll. Let's roll. I'm ready to talk to you. Come on with it. But do your thing, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Time will tell what goes on there. So that's the update with the Greenlight Resources for today. And that's where we stand. Let me look here in the comments if there's anything else. What about the Canancer connection? I'm looking into that. I don't know yet. I'm still going to look into that, and I am currently looking into that. The moment that I have anything else, I will bring that to you. Oh, look at that. That's cute. Charlize is trying to challenge me. I doubt you get anyone to spill the beans while anything's being investigated. That is a bet I will take. Oh yeah, I'll get him to spill the beans. You just got to know the right areas to oil and the right legs to touch or whatever. I already foresee problems with the city council, but the administration is already in chaos. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, hey, keep in mind, this has already been in investigation, and I've already heard all this information from all of this. I'll tell you, the moment that this really goes full throttle to law enforcement, that'll be the minute that I get most of my information, because I've got sources there like no other. So the house used to be owned by the people who own Virginia Heating and Cooling, and I think Canancer's may be related. Yeah. That's a thing. So this is a really weird deal, how all of this connects and who all's there. And right now I took a trip down to the house today, down to see the Hoyt house today. And let me tell you, I feel for your pain, Stumblefoot. I'm telling you, I drove around that insanity today, and I was cussing and yelling up a storm. It was crazy. I cannot believe they've got that insanity going on. How much longer is that going to take? So Dustin must be related to the Canancers. Does that make sense on who came to their defense? On a workman's site. Well, the deal there was Ed Canancer is chummy with it could, yeah. But I know that he's chummy with Belinda Munson. I know that Ed Canancer and Belinda Munson hang out. And they go and eat breakfast, and they go and hang out like on Fridays at Elm Street Bar, like in the morning, and have like brunch there. and eat with a bunch of other people that sit around and talk about how wonderful they're going to make Muncie, and talk about the big dreams they have when Belinda Munson owns 98% of the property in Muncie. You know, just big dreams, you know. What will be done first, Till Ponder? The end of the world will come first. Dustin was chummy with her too. Incestuous much. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's really, really nuts. I'll tell you, Ed Canancer called me a while back and told me that I need to get hired on WMUN. WMUN. You're listening to 92.5, The Talk of Muncie. Hey, I'm here. I told him that would not happen as long as Steve Lindell was alive. But, yes, Tweety Bird, kind of. They're mortal enemies. Belinda was married to Bruce's deceased brother, and there is no love lost there. I like Bruce. I'm not a big fan of Belinda. Belinda, if you recall, Belinda and Dustin created a company which bought Workman's Bar. So Workman's Bar was owned, and the old owner got into debt with John Neal. Okay. And then in order to pay that debt off after John Neal died, they sold the Workman's Bar to the Shoestring Group, which was a corporation made up of friends of John Neal's, his daughters and shit. They sold it at like a crazy price. $40,000 or some shit. And then American Bar Company bought it from Shoestring Group like 6 months later, like $60,000. And it had a liquor license in it. The bar was nothing. Dustin / Munson, Belinda Munson, bought the bar and the liquor license for like $60,000. They took the liquor license out of the bar and they sold the bar without the liquor license to EBGB, some shadow organization. Like a month later.
ECIBG.
Yeah, CBGBs. What'd you say it was? ECIBG? For like $10,000, only $10,000. They sold it at a $10,000 profit without a liquor license. Insane. And it was termite infested. It was worth nothing. And then the guy that bought the company that bought the thing, they wanted to be a shadow organization. And when everyone was like pumping them for information, the city of Muncie, mind you, told everybody, don't bother us, call this man. And they pointed to a man that was literally dying in the last like 2 weeks of his life on hospice. And they were literally having us call him. literally having us call him. The man was on hospice, dying, saying, "How'd you get my number? Please quit calling me. Stop calling me." And rightfully so. And I notified the city, "Hey, quit telling people to call this dude." It was absolutely insane. Bob Beasley, the attorney Bob Beasley. It was gross what the city was doing. I mean, that was some sick shit that they did. It was really bad. Brandon got mad. I remember Brandon called. I called. The city listed him. It was gross.
Yeah, wasn't there a Facebook post about it?
Yeah, the city made a Facebook post and everything. Then the city turns around and buys the building for $150,000. That wasn't a setup from word go. And keep in mind, Greenlight Resources, Dustin Clark was involved with the whole get up. And the whole time he's working at Prairie Creek, and he's also writing grants from the city, making money hand over fist. And keep in mind, like Annie said, Dennis Tyler did federal time for taking $5,000. Oh, God. I just like the fact that Dennis has a teardrop now. I saw him the other day. He's got a teardrop tattoo. So he did time in the pokey. Yeah, he did time in the pokey. He can have it. He's seen some things. No, he doesn't.
Brandon mad is actually a very terrifying thing, and it doesn't happen very often, but it is. Yeah. It's scary to see.
I like
Brandon mad.
Yeah, right. When Brandon's mad, it sounds like this. When Brandon's exciting, it sounds like this. Yeah. Thug life, Denny. So yeah, that's that. Dennis has seen a lot, and believe me, he is getting a good chunk. Yeah, dude, he needs to be sitting back eating some popcorn, saying "Whoa, this sucks." One day his phone's gonna ring, and it's gonna be Dan, and Dan's gonna be like, "All right, what do I do next?" And Dennis is gonna be like, "New phone, who dis?" Click. Did you see me actually hang the phone up like normal people do? All right. So that is the Greenlight Resources deal. Hey, I do have to tell you all a couple of interesting factoids here. We're only 5 days away from the election. 5 days away. When you wake up, will be 4 days away. He is saying, wait, what? He is saying, and the SB brass roads shall be screaming in the hallways. Where are they now? Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, where's the star? Hey, the Star Press is non-existent. And Rose Selby's on the council. So, I mean, what a weird world we are in. What a weird world we are in. Tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen, there will be 4 days until the election. I want to remind you of a couple of things that you might not know. Back about 2 or 2.5 months ago, the Republican Party in Delaware County, meaning Ed Carroll and Jessica Piper and others, James King and a few other idiots, were talking about how they were going to run a straw poll. A straw poll. And I made the statement way back then, this will be the most telling poll. This will be the most telling poll in political history. And I'm going to tell you why. Not because of the numbers that they would release, not because of what it would say, this person's up by this many points, this person's up by this many points, it's a plus or minus this. No, because one of two things was going to happen. If Jimmy King or Bookout or Piper would have been leading in the straw poll, the Republican Party would have blasted that shit everywhere. It would have been put on mailers. They would have made it on billboards. They would have wrote it in the sky in smoke. They would have got tattoos with those numbers on, and we would be seeing it in our sleep.
Can you tell me when the straw poll was conducted and via what medium?
No, I can't. I have no clue.
Okay.
Because in another note here in a minute, this will also segue into that. The Republican Party in Delaware County does literally everything by secret. The Republican Party does literally everything by secret. Okay, so it's so strange. Keep that in mind. So they did this straw poll. And in the straw poll, they asked people about their votes for commissioner in both of the commissioner races and for Delaware County Council. And my prediction when I heard this was, no, it wasn't. No, this was a real live straw poll they did. This wasn't a Facebook thing. I'm talking about what the actual Delaware County, like what they actually put money together and did this thing. And my prediction back when was, if they're winning, that would be blasted everywhere. But if they did not like the outcome of the poll, we would hear nothing about it. Now here we are, 4 days, 5 days if you count today still, which is almost over. We're 4.5 days away from the election, and there's no talk about this poll. No talk about this poll. Nothing's saying anybody's in the lead. Nothing's saying anybody's following behind. Just poof, it's not there. Let me tell you about another interesting thing that the Republican Party has done. And to think that something like this could happen at one point would have been inconceivable. Let me tell you. Every year, the Republican Party does something called the Elephant Open, a golf tournament that the entire Republican Party does. Well, this year, because of all of the division and all of the strife and all of the craziness and insanity, not brought on by people that you might think, but moreover brought on by Ed Carroll and his lack of business, lack of work, lack of leadership, lack of understanding, lack of intelligence, and by the insanity of Jessica Piper being afraid of everything. By all of the chaos brought on by that, they decided to try to attempt to set up this golf outing, this fundraiser for the Delaware County Republican Party in secret. They didn't want anybody knowing about it. And ladies and gentlemen, that golf outing, which should have been opening by about 7:30 or 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, keep in mind, today's the 2nd, tomorrow's the 3rd, Saturday's the 4th, that fundraiser was going to kick off, but it is not going to now because it's canceled because they could not get teams to sign up for it. No teams. No teams. So yes. Yes, I love it. That is so fitting. Yeah, folks, no Republican Open this year. Yes, it sounds like the Democrat Party, does it not? I was just getting ready to say the same thing. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party, for everybody that says, I hate parties, we need to bust up the parties. Ladies and gentlemen, I, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, will declare today, the 2nd of May, the death of the local parties in Delaware County. There might be a little life here or there in the death throes, doing those final kicks right before the deer bleeds out or whatever. But it's over. Now, while I might not specifically agree with Holly here about voting for progressives, I would ask you, where are they? And I'm not being shitty when I say that. To say someone needs to vote for progressives, my question is, where are they? Where are they at? We need people to start signing up on the Democrat side. We need people to start. We need good candidates to sign up. We need good Democrats to sign up. We need good Republicans. We need good Libertarians. I am so sick of this one-party mindset. We get all it gets is a bunch of shitty candidates on a Republican ticket. It's gross. If they kept the golf tournament a secret, how do they expect to draw in teams or participants? Jackie, that is a question that I've been asking ever since I've heard about this, and a question that I don't even think is scratching the top of the surface. Denise says they're being held back by the old guard who won't let go and get out of the way. And let me tell you, I know that you're speaking of the Democrat Party, but you very well could be speaking about the Republican Party too. The same thing is happening on both sides, and that's what we need to do. We need to get rid of both of the people that make up the old guard on both sides. And I agree. We need to. I absolutely agree that we need to do that. Nonpartisan elections cause even more problems. I know, man. I know. We've been struggling for a long time because we need a professionally run government. I'll say hallelujah to that. I agree absolutely. We're 4 days out from an election, and it's not just Delaware County. We could be talking about Madison County, Keep in mind, tomorrow we will be talking about Madison County. Catherine from Madison County will be on, Catherine Callahan, to talk a little bit about over there. We're going to be talking about down in Henry County, where, ladies and gentlemen, I am scared to death about what's going to happen down there. I'm scared to death about what's going to happen down there. In 5 days, in 4.5 days, an election's going to occur. And if I really don't care what happens throughout most of the race, but there are 2 people running for commissioner. And if you elect even one of them, if you elect Susan Hoon or you elect Cantrell, you guys in Henry County are SOL, shit out of luck, because you're going to be giving power to a crazed man that is sheriff, that is a racist asshole, that doesn't know what he's doing, that is growing a department of young men and women that are not properly trained. They just killed someone in Delaware County last week over total ignorance. They're now affecting people from Delaware County. Like, if this was just Henry County, it's their nonsense, whatever. But they're now coming up in here and killing people. So this election is a scary election all the way. And everybody's so worried about national politics and whatever. Everybody needs, I tell you what, you really want to send a message. Quit bitching about Trump and Biden and all of those idiots. We need to start focusing more attention to the local level. We need to start bringing in younger and newer candidates to the Republican Party, intelligent thinkers, people who are willing to communicate. We need to start thinking about that, and we need to start bringing those people back in. And listen, this might be the perfect time to consider that, because we actually have a year off next year. No elections. No elections. We can regroup. We can kind of build. We can take over from there moving forward. No. You don't take your eyes off the feds. But it seems like people, that's all they're worried about. That you got people who can tell you, you've got people in Indiana who can tell you the names of the progressive leadership of the Democrat Party from the federal level, from California, and the crazy Republicans from at the federal level from down south, but they cannot tell you who their city councilor is, or who their county commissioner is, or what the county commissioners. I have people messaging me today and talking about going in and voting for people who aren't even on the ballot. They're asking me. Someone's telling me, I went in today and I voted, but Joe Biden wasn't on my ballot. I'm like, man, we got people that are literally going in and voting today. I talked to several people that voted today, and I'm scared to death that they actually voted. I am scared to know that some of these people voted this afternoon. Wait a minute. Tweety Bird says it depends on who wins president. What depends on that? Well, I mean, a lot depends on that, but here's the thing, and I can't. We're in a world of hurt, whoever wins nationally. I truly believe that the answer to the national problem, it's not going to be fixed in November either way, and it's not going to be fixed next year, and it's not going to be fixed in 4 years, and it's probably not going to be fixed in 6 years. We are going to have to take a massive reset, and we're going to have to start focusing on good candidates at the local level. we're going to have to start. Oh, I don't know that it's going to be a kumbaya moment. I'm not necessarily even talking about that. I'm not saying that we're going to bring everybody together and everybody's going to be holding hands. I'm not talking about that. Politics is dirty. Politics is blood sport, and I'm okay with it being that way. We just need intelligence. We have to start building the local people up. Where do people think that these people come from? One of these days, if Trump wins, he's going to be dead. One of these days when Biden wins, he's going to be dead. Nancy Pelosi's going to die. DeSantis is going to die. All of these people that everybody's so we need to build the team up. We need to start building up. The state level candidates come from local candidates, and the local candidates build to the state, and the state go to the federal. And if we don't start building a bench of normal common sense people at the local level on both sides of the aisle and all the way up in the middle and the fringes and whatever, we're not going to have any. We don't have, that's the problem we're running into now. Nobody runs. You can't get anybody run. Look, used to, when I was a little kid, when I first got involved, when my grandma was taking me around, I was working the polls, there were 2 or 3 people running for every election, all the way down the Democrat side and all the way down the Republican side. People were excited to get out and vote Democrat. People were excited to get out and vote Republican. Start at the bottom up. Let's get local news localized. Yeah, look, Tweety Bird. And that's the thing. Now, I'm not a news guy. I'm not a journalist. I'm an opinion person. I have an opinion. I'm on a side. And I don't consider myself news. I do everything I can to try to break at least politically related news. If there's something that goes on community oriented, that's like, like the big shooting that happened in July last year, I covered that. And I talked about that. The tornado a couple of weeks ago, of course, I talked about that. And we had a lot. We did almost a 5-hour show the night of the tornado, and there were 200 people here watching live saying no other place is covering this. So I like that, and I like putting information here. And I will tell you, most of what you read in the Star Press, when you read it in the Star Press, if you go back and watch my show from like a week before, you will see that I've talked about that information. Now, I do brag about that because I wear that as me and my team and the connections we made and the sources we made. I wear that as a badge of honor. But we do need to build up local media. Where's the Star Press covering any of this stuff going on? Let me tell you where the Star Press is covering all of this. Let's go look at the Star Press right now. Let's pull up the Star Press right now. Here we are. Here's the Star Press. Let's look at what the Star Press is doing. Okay. Here's the Star Press. Pro-Palestinian protest rally encampment arrives at Ball State. And there's like 6 people out there at Ball State. Okay, that's good covered. That's good. I'm fine with that. I'm actually surprised they've got something in there, honestly, about that. But a lot of what they've got going on in here is all like crap connected to what's come from the USA Today and other Gannett nonsense. But the local news that they actually cover in here, hell, I can't even find it. Let's see. They had the story yesterday that we talked about the mailer. They talked about the mailer.
That was a good article.
It was a good article, but it was a good article that was 2 months old. So it was a good article. I like because and Kate agreed, and I agreed. Kate said they covered both sides. They didn't make it because most of the time when they cover anything negative on like James King, they then give him a whole section where he campaigns for himself. They did a great article, but they were 2 months old on it. You know, I listened to. Let me tell you this. Today is the very first day in my life, the very first day in my life that I turned on the radio station in the car to the channel 92.5. Anybody from Muncie, I know that this is going to be Muncie related only, so the people out there not Muncie, and maybe a little into Henry County or Madison County. Does anybody know what the channel 92.5 is? In the car? Anybody know what that is? Oops, crap. Anybody know what that is? So 92.5 is a station called WMUN. MUN. It's part of Wolf Boom. It used to be WBST. Yep, you're right. It's not now. It's now called WMUN. And it is a Wolf Boom radio thing. Okay. And it covers some stories and some. It's like Steve Lindell getting on there. Like, look, listen, I got to be really honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Steve Lindell, okay? I'm not a big fan of Steve Lindell because I think he wants to be everybody's hero, and he's like spinning the music and he's a radio buddy and all of that stuff. Steve Lindell does not like me because I questioned his wife when his wife worked with Ridenauer. I called her out on stuff, and she was very hard to deal with, and she did a lot of damage to Dan, and she did a lot of damage to the city, and I called them out on that, and so Steve does not like me. But I turned on 92.5 today at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you wanted me to tell you what I heard? I heard Tony Katz. Do any of you know who Tony Katz is? Tony Katz is a conservative talk host from the WIBC 93.1 WIBC. I listen to 93.1. I'm a fan of Tony. I'm sure that there's a lot of people on here that are not fans of Tony, specifically if you are of the liberal or left-leaning bent. I'm sure you're not fans of Tony. Tony has 2 radio programs on 93.1. He has a radio show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning, and then he has a program from noon until 3. And in the morning, he talks about local Indiana stuff for roughly 30 to 40 minutes. And then the remainder of his show is national. And I like Tony, and I listen to Tony for that. But I really like it, listening to him talk about local stuff, but it's not very much. But the local stuff he talks about is Indianapolis. He's not talking about Muncie. Now, my thing is, they could give me a slot on that channel. I would take a slot on that channel, and I would tune some things down a little bit. And look, I'm not gonna sell my soul. I would be me. I understand that it's not YouTube. I understand I can't curse, yada, yada, yada. I can be professional, but I'm going to talk about local news and things like that, local politics. It would be an opinion thing, and it would be more informational And people would gain more information from that, I promise you, from the Muncie area, because it would be based on Muncie crap. But they won't do that, I'm sure, because Steve Lindell is not a fan of yours truly. Now, it wouldn't affect what I'm doing here, and we would have to have an agreement that I would talk about Muncie things, but I would do it the way I would do it. And it would not affect what I do here, or else I wouldn't sign off on that. But I'm just saying, hell, don't have it be me. Don't have it be me. Have it be somebody else. But why is Tony Katz doing? I like Tony Katz. Yeah, I've been on 93.1. I've been on Tony Katz's show. I've been on Kendall and Casey several times. I will continue doing that. But the point is, like, Muncie is big enough that somebody should be able to go in for a couple of hours a day and talk about what's going on in Muncie and give people a chance. Interview Muncie people. Bring people in. I would do that. I would have no problem doing that. I've never talked to anybody. Look, and the thing is, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. Listen to this. You're not as badass as I am. At least I listen to local news out of Indianapolis living in Muncie. I listen to Muncie information from Louisiana. Hey, you know what? Troy Tackett, Mary Stilts, go do it. Somebody needs to do it. It's not that hard. Now, I think people would find pretty quickly it's harder than you think to talk for 3 hours about stuff. Now radio is a little bit different because basically what you do is you cover the same shit in hour 1 and hour 2 and hour 3. But I mean, I would want to do it in a way that it would be a talk format. So it wouldn't be just the same old, covering, you got to repeat the same stuff. It would have to be a whatever goes on. But that I would be fantastic. But they're not going to go out of the box and see, there's nothing that stops them calling. I would put in for that in a second and do it. I would go in. I would, listen, I'm even willing. I would even be willing to do it for free for a moment. I would do it for free for a moment. Just to see if you could.
You speak for yourself. If you're bringing your producer into this, I want to check.
I'm just saying me. Normal people would have to get paid. I'm just saying, I would be willing to see what goes on and if it could make a stir, because I do think that there needs to be something local. There's nothing local out there. Where the Star Press is, listen, I'm not. How much longer can Doug Walker be Doug Walker? I mean, it doesn't take a lot of much energy or much to type and write and do whatever. But, I mean, he's been there for how long? How much longer is he going to be there? I don't know. Just thought. All right, we're going long. I got to go. We got to go. Oh, real quick, just in passing, I do want to throw this out there before we go. Last night, I talked about the Henry County sheriff, about his nonsense last night. Okay. I talked about his like big 10-point plan. He's insane. Literally, he is insane. And he was talking about Susan Hoon Soon, and David Cantrell. And he was, in my opinion, slandering the current commissioners. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of those commissioners has put forward a response. And I want to read this real quick. I would like to take this opportunity. This is Bobby Plummer. She is the current commissioner of the Middle District, I believe. Southern District. She's on the Southern District. She needs to be reelected. I want to tell you, Miss Plummer.
Can you zoom your page so it's easier to read?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Let me ask you, you can zoom somehow better than I can. Can you zoom it? And I'll read it from mine and you can just show it from yours. So here's Miss Bobby Plummer. Miss Plummer was a commissioner. When she first took over, I was not a fan of hers. And she and I battled. And then something happened. She started listening to what I was saying. She started learning from that. She started learning from other people. She would she would mess up. She would make a mistake, but she would learn from that mistake. And I now have to say, Bobby is a pretty good commissioner. Steve Dellinger's a pretty good commissioner. EJAC saying he released one too. I'll go through both of them. Right, here's Bobby's. All right, I'm going to go off page and read. If there's any comments I need to know, let me know. And just follow along with Kate's thing. It says this. I would like to take this opportunity to address some claims that have been made during this campaign by the Henry County Sheriff, which is really weird because the sheriff's not even running against Bobby. So, like, why is the sheriff making these claims? Just goes to show what an insane person he is. Sheriff Sproles is free to support any candidate that he so chooses. However, he should not be allowed to alter the facts. And by God, that is the truth. He's insane. When Sheriff Sproles attended his first official commissioners meeting, some of the issues he discussed pertain to the Henry County Council. I advised the sheriff that the council and the commissioners have different roles in government. That's common sense. Most of the items he discussed should have been addressed to the county council. In the interest of obtaining better answers for his questions, I suggested he provide the commissioners an idea to what he was going to discuss. Typically, that's how other department heads operate. This procedure allows all involved to have a more effective exchange of information. I don't think that she said, you need to email me first, damn it. Number 2, regarding the ARP money, the Henry County Commissioners and subsequently the Henry County Council appropriated $265,000 for Sheriff's Department vehicles. $265,000 out of ARP for Henry County Sheriff. But the sheriff did not disclose that last night in his points. He flat out lied. During the county council budget meeting for Sheriff's Department, the commissioners were not involved in the discussion, period. Any issues that Sheriff Sproles has regarding the $64,000 appropriated for vehicles is between him and the council members, of one of which is Susan Hoon, who he also now wants to make a commissioner. I would encourage anyone to go to the Henry County page there and select the YouTube channel and watch the budget meetings if they have any questions. I will take a step further. Don't do that. Watch it on our channel from where Brandon went over it, and it will be head and foot better because he actually breaks it down, and it is fantastic. Regarding the fitness equipment, request. When Henry County Sheriff's Office and the detention center was being built, fitness equipment was purchased and installed. The Sheriff's Office was requesting approximately $41,000 to purchase new equipment, replacing that which was less than a year old. The Henry County Commissioners are tasked with looking at the big picture for the entirety of the county. It made and continues to make zero fiscal sense to spend an additional taxpayer dollars unnecessarily. All right? He just didn't like it because it wasn't what he wanted. As a commissioner, it is Bobby's job to be proactive in educating herself and looking at the big picture and items that could become a problem. In late 2022 and early 2023, the population of the jail was consistently elevated. Bobby reached out via email to the county council, county commissioners, and Sheriff Sproles and his staff to begin an internal conversation. She received zero response. And let me be very clear to Sheriff Manchild. Her emails, buddy, are record requestable. They're public documents. So when I request them and you guys haven't responded when I request yours and they're not there, you, sir, are going to look like an idiot. As far as Bobby is aware, there are no further attempts at that time to have a discussion. As the year progressed, she did have a conversation with Elveltris. Architecture. What is this? Elvetus Architecture to educate herself as to what the process would be should they have to expand the current facility. That was as far as the conversation progressed. Recently, at a public work session was held in Henry County Courthouse to discuss possible opinions regarding the expanded facilities. Those invited to attend were the commissioners, the council, judges, probation office, prosecutor's office, the office of the public defenders, the sheriff, and his staff. While not everyone invited attended this meeting, a productive discussion was had. I would encourage anyone to go to the Henry County website and select the YouTube channel and watch the meeting if they have any questions and to have those questions answered. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to read the replies and concerning the sheriff's recent statement. I would like to also thank you for your continued support. The commissioners and the council will continue to serve the citizens of Henry County in a fiscally responsible manner. And I'm going to add, please, please, for the love of all that is holy, vote for Bobby Plummer for re-election on Tuesday, May 7th. Okay? Now, I also want to go real quickly and read Steve Dellinger's. So, Kate, if you can pull up Mr. Dellinger's, I would very much appreciate it.
Help me spell his name.
Dellinger, Steve Dellinger for Henry County Commissioner.
There it is.
Okay. Steve says, after reading the comments from Sheriff Sproles, I was trying to determine who I was running against, David Cantrell or Sheriff Sproles. I love Steve. I would like to take this opportunity to try to reply to the claims made by Sheriff Sproles with actual facts. The previous sheriff awarded me a special deputy status. I considered this more as an honorary appointment rather than being an active special deputy with police powers, as I never publicly spoke about this. I was well aware that I had no police powers and I served at the will of the sheriff. The statement made by the Sheriff Sproles is incorrect, as I have never referred to my status to include police powers. I did speak with Sheriff Sproles regarding his campaign statement eliminating all special deputies and how that would affect the warrant officers and security officers for the court, as these are all special deputies. While I was honored to have been given the status of special deputy, I did not consider that this made me an actual officer of the sheriff's department, nor did I use this for any purpose other than honorary. I did not expect these to be renewed as a new sheriff was taking office. Sheriff Sproles has had many conversations. I'm going to stop here. Sheriff Sproles has had many conversations with people who have literally been mad because Sheriff Sproles did crazy shit when he came in. And what started out as something that did make sense and I did agree with, he took it way too far, as he does everything, and he became insane. He became a maniac, and people did argue with him. Do I believe that Steve Dellinger did any of that? Not for a second. You could not get me to believe that he did that. And again, I'm going to say, Sheriff Sproles, bring me the proof over your words. Your words mean nothing. You are a proven liar, sir. Proven. I'm telling you. You are a liar, so your words are not going to cut it. You actually have to have evidence. Going on, regarding ARP monies, we originally appropriated $200,000 to the sheriff's department for vehicles and subsequently an additional $65,000 for a total of $265,000. Henry County commissioners are not involved in any budget meetings besides our own. If the sheriff has an issue with how the county council budgeted his vehicle, he needs to speak with those members. All of those meetings were live streamed and can be found at henrycounty.in.gov and our YouTube channel. In the past, $150,000 was appropriated by the council for vehicle purchases. Okay? All right, there's that. Regarding the fitness equipment request, fitness equipment was purchased and installed during the construction of the Henry County Jail, Henry County Sheriff's Office and Detention Center. The Sheriff's Office was requesting approximately $41,000 to purchase new equipment. As commissioners, we are responsible for making sound judgments when spending tax dollars. I believed then and still do that this would have been a financially prudent expenditure of taxpayer dollars at that time. Commissioner Plummer did reach out via email to the county council, Sheriff Sproles, Chief Deputy Joe Wiley, myself, to begin an internal discussion regarding the population of the jail. She and I spoke and was in agreement to start an internal conversation, as was Commissioner Wiley. There were no responses to the request from the county council nor the sheriff's department, so the discussion did not begin. We recently attended a public work session to discuss any options for the facility. While not everyone invited attended the meeting, it was productive discussion that was had. I would encourage anyone to go to the website and select the YouTube channel to view the meeting. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to read my reply concerning the sheriff's recent statement. I would also like to thank you for your continued support. I will continue to work diligently to serve the citizens of Henry County with common sense approach. And again, please, for the love of God, vote for this man to retain his seat against Dave Cantrell. Cantrell and Susan Hoon-Soon are both Sproles plants. Susan Hoon-Soon has even stated that she was asked to run by the sheriff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not good. There are council members, and I will go over those council members with you as we do a later show. Maybe tomorrow, probably not, or the next day. I'll let you know. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, Catherine will be joining us, special contributing correspondent Catherine Callahan from Madison County. And for those of you that have been missing Audie said he's coming back Monday night. He will be on here Monday to talk to us about the council meeting, and we'll see what that nut has to say. You guys, I wish you have a great night. Have a wonderful Friday. We normally are off tomorrow. I can finally say that now, but we will be on here tomorrow at a very special 9 p.m. time. Wait, that's our normal time, always our time. Be here, and we will see you then. Sure, the barbers going to shut. Yeah, right. I absolutely have to get a haircut. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a good Saturday, and we will see you back here tomorrow for episode 195. Take care. Good night. God bless.
Kristopher, you got to do something about that. I thought you had this fixed.
Does it do that?